Welcome back to the Beast Speak blog. This is a series where I tell you what the Beast has been saying to me and how I overcame it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Beast is your addictive voice, the AV and AVRT of Jack Trimpey's Rational Recovery. If you can recognize that Beast, then you can separate yourself from your urges, and that can result in immediate and lifelong abstinence. If you want to learn more about Rational Recovery or how to do AVRT, I'll link Virginia's story in the description box below. That's a good place to get started. I'm sorry it's been so long, guys. I had a little difficult bout there, and then I both my computers died the same week, so it took a minute to get a new one. But anyway, so I've been lamenting my messy house, and I kept repeating to myself, I can't get myself to do the dishes. The reason this matters so much is that undone things make me want to escape, and the more things pile up, the harder it gets to escape, and the more destructive the things I have to do in order to escape. Undone things are so much more harm than just in and of themselves. An undone thing grows destructive tentacles into other aspects of your life, bringing you deeper and deeper feelings of helplessness. What we need is empowerment, and that's what learning how to defeat the beast gives you. As your confidence defying the beast increases, the more self efficacy you gain. So I kept saying to myself, I can't get myself to do the dishes. I wrote down the thought and underlined I can't and myself. The sentence broke down into two aspects of myself, I can't and get myself. The I can't part of me is ineffective and demoralized. And the get myself part of me was a defiant slob. So I asked myself, which one is the beast? I can't or get myself. They're they're both the beast. The beast is posing as two helpless victims. I thought, what if I had another persona who would rise up and do the thing? So we know the beast can play more than one part in your head. It can put on a whole production. But what about the real you? Is there more than one part? You might ask yourself, what does she mean? Isn't there only two voices in your head, the addictive voice and the real you? Yes, it's clear that the addictive voice is not you. It's a hijacked survival drive. The real you has many facets or parts. Barry Schwartz in his book No Bad Parts about the internal family systems says, for example, people say all the time when they're in conflict, part of me is happy, but a part of me is sad. These are different aspects of you. So we have different parts. One of the criticisms of rational recovery is that you're disowning a part of yourself when you relegate the beast to the back. But know that the addictive voice is a response to the mind-blowing high it wants more than air itself. There's no conflict with the beast. It's all hedonism. You might say, "Oh, this part wants pain relief." But ask yourself, why do you want to use it when you celebrate as well then? When you as well as when you feel bad? It's the high. The only real pain it wants to relieve is the dependence it has created for you. One of the ways you know the beast is not a part of you is because real subpersonalities or parts, if you in your real self reveal themselves in the face of trauma as a protector. The beast wasn't born out of trauma. You need to know that, yes, real parts of you protect you from your conflicted parts, the parts of you that it's exiled, certain other parts of you that are unacceptable. To identify these exiled parts, you can think about the traumatic event and view it as a trailhead for further investigation. Get curious. What aspects of your personality had to rise up and rose up to steer you through the hard time? One of the exercises in Barry Schwartz's book, Part No Bad Parts, is you kind of personify this facet of yourself. List different goals and values it has to help you see how this part negotiated through whatever trauma you went through. Once you have a clearer picture of the aspects of yourself that rose to the surface, you can ask this part questions. It's like a helpful fiction. Although although it's like an exercise, there's not really like a separate part of you. I'm sorry, I just need a minute here. Yep, okay, I'm still recording. Okay. So, but it's amazing the insights that can come to your mind when you have to grasp onto the aspects of yourself that have stepped forth to survive. But like I said, the addictive voice is not an aspect that has been exiled from your personality. It's not a part that can be rehabilitated and accepted. If it was helpful, it wouldn't want every waking second of your life devoted to oblivion. So have no fear about exiling the beast. It's a parasite latched onto you. It wants what it wants when it wants it, and it's not afraid to kill you to get it. So I've been waking up with this unbearable anxiety, and I realized it was an aspect of myself that was inflicting pain to try to get me to do these things that I keep putting off, like getting the house in order. It paints like radically bad outcomes for my family, so it really gives me a lot of anxiety. Um, if I don't start doing what needs to be done. So I believe this part of me is a result of my increasing care. From previous posts, I want to increase my care. Somatic meditations and journaling and asking my unconscious or really God to increase my care. So my care has increased, but I didn't realize that the more care I have, the more it hurts to fail. No wonder I suppressed my care. I realized the increased pain is a result of not being able to ignore things because now I care, and that's good. But I wake up with this punishing anxiety where I have to pace the floor and wring my hands. And I call it dread, and it warns me that if I don't create a safe, beautiful space for my children, they won't grow up with any rest, and then life will only get harder for them. I want them to have something of solace to come back to. And the truth is that they're growing up and I'm running out of this opportunity. Despite being a very difficult force to face, it is a positive force that's trying to help me to live up to my values. So that's a good thing. There's a second force that is based on fear, uncertainty, and indecision. That's the sheer overwhelm of the tasks that face me. Two different forces, one for helping, one for keeping me still. So sometimes this force of dread elicits submission. I do what it asks me to do only to avoid the pain. I'll do the dishes or whatever. Dread is trying to evoke submission so it can get me to live up to my values. So I personified submission and fleshed out some of its aspects, but I realized submission has no agency. It has no will of its own except to avoid a worse fate than they are willing to accept. At first, I thought I should increase my submission, focus on that state so I can call it to mind more easily. But I don't want submission. Submission has its place when you're in danger, but what I want it now is resolve. But what does resolve look like? What does it feel like? Where submission is afraid, resolve is somber and pushing back the fear of uncertainty. Resolve is engaged, omitting all the other potentialities, forfeiting all other possibility except the task at hand. It sets aside its feelings and moves. Resolve has appeared at times in my life, and I try to channel those memories to elicit the feeling. The more I can recall that feeling on demand, the easier it will be to do what needs to be done despite the forces against me. So do some work trying to question the parts of yourself that are working for your benefit and heal the parts of you that were exiled given the circumstances you were in the past. But remember, the beast is not a part of you. It's a parasite that only wants oblivion and escape from all other parts of and realities of life. You will never be whole as long as you stay anesthetized and numb. I've linked a video from Orion Taraban about how pain can make you wise. It's time to confront some uncomfortable truths in your life so that you can heal and become whole. You have to feel to heal. If you keep yourself numb, you don't know the wound is festering and you never tend to it. Be brave, seek truth. Rule yourself, defeat the beast. Thank you.